The sun was about to set, yet the beggar was still moving from house to house begging for food. When he entered the second house, the woman in the house poured water on him and warned him never to set foot in her compound. He tried to tell the woman that he was only looking for food, but the woman sneered and promised to pour hot oil on him if she enters the house and meet him again when she comes out. The beggar shook his head and laughed inwardly. These were the rich people that wanted him to marry their daughters. These were the people that were ready to give him anything for their daughters to become his. Tradition or no tradition, it seemed he would defy the tradition for his own good. Wasn't it laughable that none of them cared for the poor? Well, his parents presented 4 beautiful maidens to him, and he had chosen to test them all before deciding on whom to marry. What he wouldn't do was to marry a woman who would turn his kingdom into something else. They were all beautiful, but he was out to find the one with the most compassionate heart. According to the gods, his wife must come from one of the 4 homesteads. To cap it all, the 2 families he had entered had treated him not just as a beggar but a leper, including the particular ones he was to marry. He strapped his bag and began to move again. Now he was heading to the 3rd family. Although based on his mother's words, even if others failed his test, this particular one wouldn't. This one was a very big family surrounded by a tall fence. He knocked at the gate, but no one answered. When he pushed the gate, it became open. So he entered without anyone's permission. As he was about to reach the middle of the compound, the gate man came out from nowhere and stopped him. "Who are you? And what are you doing here?" The gate man asked at the same time, trembling. "I am a beggar looking for what to eat. I am hungry. And you think this is the best place to look for food? Does this place look like a charity organization? Please go out before my boss will see you." The beggar was about to walk away when a very beautiful girl came out from nowhere and stopped him. "Stop there, you!" she yelled, her tiny voice ringing like a bell. The beggar stopped with his hands clutching on his bag. The lady walked briskly and stopped at the beggar's front. "How did you get into this compound?" she said to the beggar. The beggar was about to answer her questions when she turned to the gate man and gave him a thunderous slap. "Who allowed this thing into this compound?" she barked at the gate man. The beggar was dumbfounded. He stared agape. Then the lady turned to him again. "How did you get into this compound, you dirty pig?" she barked, facing the beggar again. "No one, ma. I am looking for food, and so I decided to come and check if there's anything you people can give me." The lady let out a derisive laughter and clapped her hands twice. "You were looking for food, and you entered here to know if we have anything to give you," the lady said with a mocking tone, and the beggar nodded. She moved closer to him and landed him 2 thunderous slaps on both his cheeks. Then she began to release venoms from her mouth. "This is how you people move around in this village, looking for who to steal from. Who knows your intentions when you entered here? And what makes you think that we have food for a beggar like you? Thank your God that I am in a good mood, and also that my father is not around. You would have been handed over to the police to explain to them." She sighed and shook his head. "These are one of the things I must make sure I end if I become the queen of this land. All this nonsense begging has to stop. If you don't have anything to eat, go and die. Let me not say much now." She turned to the gate man again. "Why are you still there staring at me like a cow? Will you remove this thing out of this compound before I descend on you? Thieves, birds of the same feathers. Ugly thing. You are looking for what to eat. You don't know your family." She sighed, pushed her long braided hair backwards. "Have you seen what you have caused? You know that her body is always peppering her all the time." The gate man said angrily to the beggar in front of the gate. "I didn't do anything. I am only a hungry man looking for what to eat." The beggar replied, "Make that hungry kill you there. Don't you know this place before you enter? See, you better thank your God that my boss didn't see you. His daughter had already done his job by slapping me." The beggar murmured, "You know that you beggars have bad mouths. Don't go now until he meets you there. Then you will find out about what I am saying." As the beggar was about to move, he said, "Tell that your Oga daughter that her character is terrible. This is not how to treat a stranger. Come and tell her and receive more slaps." The gate man laughed. "Forget that girl, oh. I pity any man who will marry that broad daylight witch." The gateman laughed and closed the door. The beggar stood still at the spot thinking. That was the very lady his mother recommended for him as the best. She is from a good home. She is respectful and humble. His mother had said. Was that the meaning of respectful? Was that what his mother called being a good girl? It still baffled him that none of them recognized him at all. But how could they? How could they have thought that it was their prince who had pretended to be a beggar? "Let's move to the last one," the beggar said to himself and began to walk away. This particular compound contains one big mansion and one old bungalow. But the girl he was looking for stayed in the big mansion. While moving towards the mansion, he sighted some people in front of the old house, but didn't give them an audience. At the veranda of the mansion sat a man and his family. They had just finished eating their dinner when the beggar arrived. But the plates were on the table in front of them. The beggar stood a bit far talking to them. "Please help me, I need food," the beggar said. When did beggars started to move from house to house in search of food? The lady sitting there asked, and others shrugged. "Young man, did you give me any food to keep for you? Does this place look like a marketplace in your eyes?" The man of the house asked. "No, sir, but I am hungry. I need food. Just small food," the beggar said, clutching on his stomach. "If you are hungry, go and take Hio and enter inside the farm." The man barked. "Sir, please give me just small food," the beggar pleaded again. "Which small food? Did you give us food to keep for you? There's nothing one will not see in this village again. How can I sit in my own house and burst my scrotum?" The man lamented. "Go now. We don't have anything to give you," the lady said again. "Didn't you hear? You should go, or do you want me to pour this water on you?" Their mother said and poured the water on him. It was the water they used in washing hands, and it smelled a goosey soup. As he was walking away in the pool of smelling water, he heard the man saying that he would stop so many things when the prince got married to his daughter, and he became the chief cabinet. The beggar laughed inwardly and shook his head again. "Keep on dreaming," he said. But as he walked towards the bungalow, a girl waved her hands towards him. "Come," the girl said. When he got to the place, the girl handed him a plate of cooked yam and red oil. "Eat this one. This is the only food we have here," Amanda said, handing him the plate of the food. "Sister, what are we going to eat tomorrow if you give him the food?" a little boy of 10 asked. Amanda stroked his head gently and said, "When tomorrow comes, we must find what to eat. We have been surviving, right?" she asked, and the boy nodded his head. The beggar stared at them. He moved his eyes from the one that gave him the food, to the little one complaining, and then to the one laying on the floor sleeping. He didn't know what to do or say. "You can keep the food for him," the beggar said, but Amanda shook her head. "You are the one who is hungry now. Eat and drink water. I will find out what he will eat tomorrow." The beggar didn't know how to reject the food again. How could he eat the food while he knew that he had food in abundance in his palace? No, that was wickedness. After a lot of spiritual fights within himself, he sat down on the bench and ate the food, not because he was hungry, but to show appreciation. After eating the food, he drank water and thanked Amanda very well. "Good Samaritan. So you now have food to give to strangers, right? Let me see you come to our house to beg for food again. Useless girl. Hunger will deal with your and your siblings." The lady the beggar had met earlier with her parents said to Amanda, "Rose, you are not my God. Our God will provide for us." Amanda said and shook her head. The beggar thanked Amanda again and took his leave. When he left, Amanda placed Ken's head on her lap and touched Miracle on her head. Had she made a mistake? How could she have done that? That was the last food in their house. She wished she had listened to Ken. But it was a sin to keep food in the pot while another one was hungry. A piece of yam and red oil can save a dying soul, her late mother would always say. But now it looked as if Amanda had made a very big mistake. Amanda's mind whirled away as she continued to think about what they would eat the next day. The only thing remaining in their house was that little yam in the pot. She knew that her uncles wouldn't give them anything, not even the scraps on the ground. The hunger and poverty had eaten deep into them. But what gave her a little joy was that she had always found a way to jump over those hurdles. But not now again. Things were becoming more and more harder for her. Miracle and Ken's school would soon request for school fees. She didn't know where the money would come from. She had dropped out of school to help her siblings. But now it felt like she was about to fail them. Eating good food had become a privilege for her and her siblings. And school was about to become a luxury as well. She had done so much work to see if she could pay the school fees before the school authorities start their disturbance. But now it seemed like what happened before would repeat itself again. The school headmaster had told her that he would send 2 of them out of the school if she didn't pay their school fees on time. Mandy knew that the headmaster had been trying for her. At times he used to collect half of the payment from her, all because of their father's benevolence fund towards the school when he was alive. The only work remaining for Mandy to do was to join prostitution, which she promised herself never to do. She vowed never to disgrace her late parents, or to do anything that countered the good training given to her. She still believed that one day that everything would be fine. Mandy and her siblings were born into riches in Lagos. When I say riches, I mean massive wealth. They were born with a golden spoon. Their father was a renowned businessman at the trade fair market in Lagos. He was a very big importer who deals in importation of motor parts. Many people sang his praises both in Lagos and in the village. He was very good at helping people. He was one of those that saw that things of God were moving in order because he would always donate so much money in the church. He helped so many widows and widowers. He also built houses for some of them. In Lagos, he had so many tenant houses. He was one boss that treated all his apprentices and housekeepers like family. But everything changed the day his wife gave birth to Ken. Ken's pregnancy from day one was a strenuous one. Although Mandy didn't know much about pregnancy, she had noticed how frequently her mom used to visit the hospital, and again how worried her parents looked after each visit. Many times she had seen her father telling her mother that nothing would happen to her, that she would go and come back. But then she didn't understand what her father meant by, "You will go and come back?" It was after everything had happened that she understood her father's words. On the day her mother delivered Ken, their father was the one that followed her to the hospital, but he later came back alone with the baby. Their mother didn't come back. After weeks, they brought her back in a box. Mandy watched the way her father cried like a baby, the way he was beckoning on their mother to come back, the way he asked her severally who she had left the children for. People tried their best to console their father, but their words meant nothing to him. The love between his parents was something that even the outsiders talked about. Weeks after Ken was born, their mother was brought back in a box. And that was the beginning of their suffering because their father couldn't take the shock. He collapsed on the ground while they were going to lay their mother on the grave. He couldn't believe that he had lost his beloved wife forever. He was rushed to the hospital, but he didn't survive it. Although he didn't die on that day, he was bedridden for 2 years before he finally gave up. In those 2 years, their father's sister was staying with them, taking care of them very well. She was caring for little Ken like a mother. Even their housekeeper confirmed that their aunt was special. All these special treatments disappeared the very moment their father died. After their father's burial, Mandy and her siblings were left in the village. Mandy was the eldest sister. She went over to this particular aunt and asked her when they would be going back to Lagos. What her aunt gave her as the answer was the last thing she had expected. Going to Lagos to do what again? Her aunt answered her, "Auntie, to continue our school." Mandy answered, "So school is bigger than your parents. You are going to stay here to mourn your father." Her aunt said, "Auntie, but I have exams to write." Amanda grumbled, "If I hear that thing in your mouth now, I will squeeze that mouth out of you. Stupid girl. You lost your both parents in a matter of 4 months, and all you care for is exams. Let that exam kill you." Amanda didn't know what to say again. Was she supposed to mourn her parents forever, or what? She didn't ask any more questions. Instead, she went inside to cuddle Ken, who had been crying inside the room. The next day, Amanda saw her uncles and aunts having a meeting inside their spacious sitting room. She didn't know what the meeting was all about until a fight erupted among them. "You won't take that house in Lagos, I will take it," one of her uncles barked. Her father had 2 brothers and 2 sisters. "I am your elder brother and I must take that house," another of her uncles said. "No, you won't. You have taken this one here. It is my turn to choose. I don't even understand you both. You people are talking as if we do not exist. What about me and sister?" One of her aunts asked. Forget about your own. You people are women. We will give you people something. One of her uncles said, and everywhere became calm. It was after the meeting that Amanda found out that her father's siblings had shared all her father's properties among themselves. They pushed her and her siblings out of the mansion her father built in the village and sent them to the old bungalow. None of them agreed to take care of Kin. They said that Kin was the one that killed their parents and therefore it would be better if he died. Mandy was only 14 at the time, and she started from that age to take care of her two siblings. She turned herself into their mother and their father. No one asked about them. All the people that their father helped, none of them wanted to help them. Their mother was the only child of her parents, and her mother's parents were dead. So there was no one from their maternal home to ask about them. The only people they had were people from their paternal home. But these people detested them so much. Miracle, Miracle. Wake up, let's go inside. Amanda said, waking Miracle up from sleep. Miracle stood up, stretched herself, let out loud yawns, and they went inside the house. Inside the house, Amanda stared on the ceiling, still engulfed with different thoughts. The prince paced around the marble floor rhythmically. He couldn't believe what he had seen. Of all the people in the village, the only one that offered him food to eat was someone without enough food. Giving is from the heart, not because one has enough, his mother said, as if she knew what was going through his mind. Mum, you won't understand, the prince said, settling on the couch. Mum, you should have been there to see how these people treated me. One of the ladies you people are asking me to marry even slapped me. Slapped you? Whose daughter is that? Who is the person that slapped the crown prince of this land? The queen, his mother, barked. Mum, she didn't slap the crown prince, she slapped a beggar in rag clothes, the prince said and laughed. Whatever, the queen shrugged. Prince, I had been looking for you. Didn't your mother tell you that? The king asked as he stepped inside the sitting room. Oh, my king, Mum told me, but the prince wanted to talk, but the king cut in. Well, let's discuss everything now. The coronation of the crown prince would be in 3 days, yet you have not chosen a bride. What exactly is the problem? I think I have given you the 4 families to choose from. Choose one of the ladies. The king said. Dad, I am not choosing any of them, the prince said firmly. You are not serious. Do you think our tradition is a joke? I have told you that you won't marry any other woman. You must choose one of these ladies. Why, Dad? Why? I don't want to marry any of them. The prince lamented. You are asking me why. Were you both not here when the chief priest said that the next queen must come from any of the 4 families? Do you want to challenge the gods? See, Henry, you have enough time to choose or I will choose for you. The king narrated angrily. Dad, let me explain things to you, the prince said calmly. I don't need any of your explanations. What I want to hear now is that you have chosen this person or that person. The kind said and sprang up. My lord, my king. Listen to him first. He wants to share something with you, the queen said calmly to the king, holding his hand. Slowly the king sat down on the couch. The prince explained everything that happened on that night to his father. He told him about the ones that poured him water, and even the one that slapped him. He was about to tell his father about the one that later gave him food, but his father cut him off. So a whole prince of this land dressed himself like a beggar, moving from one house to the other begging for food. Are you not ashamed of yourself? What were you thinking? That they will welcome you and give you food just like that? At least they should have treated me like a human, the prince grumbled. Clap for yourself. Look at your mouth, like they should have treated you like a human being. You went to someone's house to beg food, and when they didn't give you, you then tagged them wicked people. Did you give them food to keep for you? But someone gave it to me. Someone gave me the last food in her pot, the prince said with a louder voice that looked like screaming. I don't care about whoever gave you the food. Were you hungry? So the food in this palace is not enough for you? You better return the food to the person, because you are not getting married to the person. You children of nowadays will never cease to amaze me. Did I beg for food before I married your mother? The king barked. My king, it has not gotten to that, the queen muttered. Woman, it has gotten to. You better talk to your son. Talk to your son now before I do something stupid. He has to choose his bride before the coronation day. A crown prince must choose a wife publicly on that day. The king sneered. My king, please calm down. Please calm yourself down. Henry must choose from the families. He better do it. I don't like when adults are behaving like babies. How long are we going to fight over this? At first he said that he doesn't love those ladies. Now he has changed it, that they didn't give him food. Tomorrow he will bring up another one again. I understand, my lord. Calm down, the queen said, rubbing the king's shoulder. She shot the prince a deadly look to keep quiet. It was her time to talk. Calmly and slowly the queen asked, My lord, the woman our son wants to marry is from one of the families, though not among the 4 ladies we presented. Who is the person? The king questioned. The prince was surprised. He didn't expect the king to give such a pleasant reply. But well, that husband and wife knew each other very well. The queen inhaled and exhaled slowly and began to explain. The girl is the daughter of the late Paul, the one who collapsed on the day his wife was buried. Which Paul? My lord, you don't know Paul again? Old age is creeping in. The queen chuckled. Have you forgotten Mozzie's younger brother? The one that died in Lagos. Ah, you mean that good man, a philanthropist. Oh, death, you are wicked. That man was my very good friend, but he couldn't withstand the death of his wife. I can't forget him like that. He was very good to me and to the community at large. What about his children? His daughter is the one that gave our son food yesterday. His daughter? How? How did Henry meet his daughter? Did he travel to Lagos? No, my lord. He didn't travel to Lagos. You know that the chief priest chose the family. But we picked Mozzie's daughter. Yes, we chose Mozzie's daughter from the family. Paul's daughter was the one that passed the test. She was the one that gave the prince food. You mean Paul's daughter? How did Henry meet her? I thought they are in Lagos. No, my king. According to what I heard before, she and her siblings didn't go back to Lagos after their father's death. And you never cared to tell me all these while. Mozzie told me that they had gone back to Lagos, and each time I asked about them, he will say that they were fine. The king said, and the queen let out a loud sigh. Are you the only one that didn't know what Mozzie and his brother did to those children? The way they took everything that their father had worked for? I don't like putting my mouth in what does not concern me. I only judge cases that were brought before my throne and not the ones I heard from outside. The king, after some minutes, turned to the prince. You said that Paul's daughter is the person you will make your queen? Yes, my king. You would have been there to see how this innocent girl offered me the last piece of yam in their pot. She was the only one who showed me love and compassion. I am not surprised. Her parents were very good people before the untimely death took them away. I will never forget how he single-handedly built part of that our community central school. The king shook his head and wiped his palms on his face. Death, you are wicked, he whispered. So have we reached an agreement now? So Henry will be getting married to the girl? Yes, who am I to stop him? The god said from the family, and Paul's daughter is from the family. Henry embraced the king tightly, went over to his mother and embraced her as well. He was happy that he had finally gotten what he wanted. Again, he was happy that even his parents loved the girl's parents very well. He didn't know much about the girl, but soon he would know everything. Amanda was sweeping the compound when someone entered. At first, she thought the person was heading towards the mansion, but to her surprise, the lady stopped in front of the bungalow. She dropped her broom and went to the lady. Good morning, Amanda greeted. Money, the lady replied. She hesitated before handing Amanda a black nylon. The queen said that I should give you this. The queen? Amanda asked, dumbfounded. She opened the bag slowly and screamed. You said the queen, she asked, and the lady nodded her head. Jesus Christ. The queen gave you all these to give me. She began to touch them one by one, and as she did, she mentioned their names. Rice, beans, Maggie, Mangala fish, onions, crayfish. Amanda swooped low and knelt on the ground. Tell the queen that God will bless her. Tell her that she will never lack anything in this life. For remembering me and my siblings today, my God will shower her with massive blessings. She will live long to eat the fruit of her labor, to see her children. The God I serve will always be there in the time of her needs. As she remembers an orphan like us, My God never forsake her. In the midst of praying, Amanda burst out crying, cascade tears streaming down her face, flowing down like a river. The lady calmed her down and then lifted her up. Wipe your tears, my dear. Our God is alive. I will pass all these beautiful prayers across to the queen. When the lady left, Amanda danced around and took the bag inside the house. She had forgotten that she was sweeping when the lady came in. She left the broom outside the compound and went straight to the kitchen to cook. She made a very delicious jollof rice and mangala fish. They had never eaten such food since they came back to the village. Ken and Miracle felt like throwing themselves on the ground when they returned from the stream. The joy was massive. It choked them up. They hadn't expected such luxurious food. Amanda had promised to look for what to cook before they returned, but definitely not rice. Rice and mangala fish was a luxury, a rich man's food, the type their uncle ate with his family every Eek market day. Ken and Miracle also prayed for the queen. After eating the food to their satisfaction, they went inside the room and slept. It didn't matter that they slept in the night. The food was so intoxicating like alcoholic beverages that it left them sleepily. The queen sat on a chair grinning. The prince was also there with her. They were both happy. The lady had told them how happy Mandy was when she received the gift of the food items, and also how she bursted out into cry when she was praying for the queen. I am glad that you found this girl, the queen said to the prince. Who knows what they had been passing through? Mum, I think they had been mistreating them badly. Based on what I saw yesterday night, I think their uncle is a bad person. You need to see how his daughter was talking to this girl because she gave me food. Hunger will kill you and your siblings. This is what she said to the girl when she saw me eating. Tomorrow we will find out who hunger will kill and who it will not kill, the queen chuckled. The day is so bright as if it knows that something great was about to happen. The elders said that their ancestors had a meeting with the weather and that they had told the weather to hold both rain and sun. The weather, after staring at them, agreed and nodded its head. That was why the weather on every coronation day was always mild and comforting. People moved from here and there. All the palace maids and guards were so busy with arrangements. Some were helping to set the canopy. Others were helping to set the chair. Many things were going on at the same time. It was a great day. In a way, it seemed as if it was the highest occasion in the community. Although one would say that the coronation of the king was the highest, but what made the coronation of the crown prince above it was the choosing of the bride. Many people came from far and near to witness the time the crown prince would make his choice. It was always a beautiful and remarkable ceremony. The queen moved briskly inside the house with her personal maids. They had finished decorating both exterior and interior, and the queen was moving around to examine them, to know if they had given her what she wanted. Henry wasn't just a crown prince, but his only son. So it was in her place to make that day a memorable day for everyone. Rose put on a very beautiful long green gown that hugged her body so tight. Her long hair is so smooth and straight. She was looking so gorgeous, and she had also learned to walk like a queen. Her father optioned to take her to the palace, but she declined. She wanted to trek to the palace so that many people would see her, so that they would see their queen-to-be. Her intuition told her that the prince would choose her. She wanted people to admire her beauty. She paused abruptly when she reached in front of the bungalow. Amanda and her siblings sat in front of the house eating their lunch. Rose coughed to draw their attention. I need you people to come to the palace. I want people that will chant my praises when the prince picked me as his queen, Rose said to them. Amanda looked at her siblings, and they all smiled. Our Majesty, don't worry, we will come, Miracle said with a mocking tone. Are you talking to me like that? Rose flared up. Rose, hold yourself before you spoil all your beauty. Being angry doesn't suit you today. Cheer up, we will see you there, Amanda said. Rose hesitated, wagged her finger at Miracle and left. Miracle, I have told you to hold this your mouth. This your mouth will put you into trouble one day, Amanda chided, holding Miracle on her lips. Miracle sprang up and demonstrated the way Rose was talking and the way she was carrying her face, as if to say that her parts were not in the market. They all burst out laughing after her demonstration. The palace was filled up with different people from different places. The four ladies that were chosen stood firm at the stage. They were all looking gorgeous and extraordinary. From their hair to their toes were screaming luxury. each casting a deadly look to the other. The prince was going to choose only one person, one out of the four, and each of them prayed to be the chosen one. Their families await in anticipation. It was a day they had been looking for. It was a great honor for your daughter to be identified as the queen of the land, if not for anything, for the respect that comes with it. People had finished eating and drinking, and it was time to do what brought them all to the palace. The chief priest came out, convulsed around, and then stopped abruptly. He raised up his face to the sky, brought it down, and smiled. "What a mysterious day," he muttered and began to laugh. After laughing and speaking in a language only he understood, he said again, "What is about to happen has never happened before, but it is all for the good. The gods are wise," the chief priest said again and began to laugh uncontrollably. Many people were surprised. What did he mean by that? What was it that has never happened before? Some did eye contact conversations and kept quiet. They murmured and whispered among themselves. The chief priest waved his left palm, and the drummers began to hit it fiercely. Then the prince walked up to the chief priest. The prince was asked to go up to the stage and make his choice, to present a woman who would run the kingdom with him. Many eyes were fixed on him, all attention on him. Some were staring agape. The parents and siblings of the four ladies all hoped for the prince to choose their own. They held their hopes in their hands. Slowly and carefully, the prince climbed the stage and began to examine them one after the other. He scanned them each from head to toes, moved from this side to that side, moved around them. Then he stopped at their front and shook his head. The four girls widened their eyes in horror. They were each anticipating to be chosen. What happened? They reasoned. The prince turned to the crowd and shook his head again with an expression that showed that none of them was qualified to be his wife. A thunderous noise erupted from the crowd. People stared at each other. "My prince, you will have to choose one of them." The gods revealed that a queen must come from one of the homesteads. The chief priest said. The four girls nodded their heads in unison. For them, there's no going back for him. The prince nodded his head and began to climb down the stage. He didn't utter a word. He quietly moved at the back of one canopy, rolled his eyes this side and that side. Then he saw her. She was there sitting absent-mindedly, talking to her siblings. Her clothes were not that beautiful. She didn't put any makeup on. Her hair was just her natural hair that she packed in cornrows. Yet she was beautiful, shining like a morning star. The prince walked towards her and grabbed her hand. Everywhere stood still. The whole place felt like a place where they had poured cold water. No. Amanda's uncle didn't know when he screamed, but thank God for his wife that reminded him where he was, and he shut up immediately. Amanda's eyes widened in horror. She was terrified. She looked at her siblings and saw the fear in their eyes. Even she was afraid. She didn't know what to do. She thought she had committed an offense. The four girls at the stage began to sob silently. On top of the stage, in front of the crowd, the prince raised Amanda's right hand and said, "Behold, this is the woman after my heart, the woman I will call my own." Amanda's uncle collapsed on his chair, and his wife began to fan him with her wrapper. His words sent a chill down Amanda's spine. She wasn't expecting anything like that. She didn't know what to say or how to react. She was filled with mixed emotions. People stared at her. The queen went there and embraced her tightly. Yet Amanda hadn't found her tongue. She fixed her gaze on the ground like a sheep ready to be slaughtered. It was too much for her. It was overwhelming. Slowly the four girls climbed down the stage, leaving only the prince and Amanda, their faces caked with griefs. Rose cast a deadly look at Amanda, shook her head and left. The chief priest convulsed around and hit his mantle on the ground. The mantle vibrated the ground, and then the prince began to talk. "My people, I greet you all," the priest said, pushing the air with his left palm. "We greet you," the crowd roared. "Remember, the gods said that I must pick one maiden among the four homesteads. This girl here is from one of the homestead. I hope everyone knows her." "Yes, we know her," the crowd roared. "She is the daughter of the late Paul. We all know Paul and his wife very well. She is exactly like her parents. I was the beggar who moved around the day before yesterday begging for food." The crowd stared surprised. They didn't understand him, but the people he was talking to understood. They knew themselves. Amanda was shocked. She accidentally lost her balance, but the prince held her hand tight. She looked up at the prince and brought her face down. She was only helping a hungry man without knowing that he was a prince. What a mysterious day it was. Are you people surprised? Some poured water on me. One even slapped me, all because I was asking for food. She is the only one that offered me the last piece of yam in her pot. Where is our humanity? We do not have conscience anymore. Well, no need for all these long talks. She grinned and faced Amanda. For offering the only piece of yam in your pot to me, I will make sure that you and your siblings never lack anything in this life. The prince said to Amanda, and she remembered her mother's words again. A piece of yam and red oil can save a dying soul. The chief priest came up to the stage and crowned him the crown prince of the kingdom. It was really a memorable day for everyone that came to the palace. After the celebration, with the help of the prince and the king, Amanda and her siblings retrieved all her father's properties both in the city and in the village. Her uncle was chased out of the mansion to the bungalow. People praised Amanda for her act of charity towards the prince. Amanda and the prince got married, and they made a very beautiful couple and ruled the king with love and harmony. Everyone in the village loved their story and also used it to teach little children the benefits in the act of giving.